The wonderful Gary V last week stated there are very few lazy people. They are just people who don't like what they're doing. And I'm like, yes, Gary V, because he's right. In all my years of HE, and I've worked in adult career guidance as well, I can tell you now that when people are doing a job that they like, they're switched on, they do everything that's required, they do the extra, they hustle, they are productive, and things happen. And you as a manager need to make sure that everyone in your team really enjoys their work. And that doesn't mean kind of pandering to them and giving them whatever they need to enjoy their work, like iced buns every day and all that kind of thing. This just means being real. The job needs doing. Are you switched on and happy to do this work? And if they are not, you need to speak up. So how do you do that? Now, the first thing is that if you've got a lot of lazy people in your team, I would very much look to yourself first. And the first question I would ask is, are you enjoying your work personally? Because your team will mirror exactly what you do. And if you are not enjoying your work and you're finding it very hard to get things together and you are kind of lazy about it all, then they will do exactly the same thing. And if that is the case, then you need to either find a way to reconnect to your work and do that quickly, or move on to another job where you are happy. The other thing is, if you've got a lot of lazy people, then obviously they're not connecting to the vision of the team, the purpose of the team, the mission of the team. There's a disconnect there, and there may be some work that you need to do about painting that vision, about building the team together, about coaching individuals to do their best. Yep, so there could be a lot of work that you need to do and in how you show up. But most people have just got one or two lazy people in a team, and people can be lazy for any number of reasons. It might be that they've outgrown the job. They were really good, they were switched on 2 years ago, but they're not now. Maybe they've outgrown the job. Maybe it's got boring for them. Maybe the job has changed. You know, they enjoyed the job as it was 2 years ago, but elements have changed according to business need, la la la. They're not enjoying the job that they're in now. It could be any number of reasons. Yeah? Could even be something outside of work that's impacting their energy levels at work as well. But what is clear is that you need to have a conversation with them as a manager. Now, this is where it gets really important. I have spoken to HR staff in really big companies, and they said, no manager can go and tell a staff member that they're not enjoying their work. And I'm thinking, yes, you can. Of course you can. If it's the truth, if it's your truth, you can say it. However, there is a caveat to that. You can only say it if the employee trusts you and knows you to tell the truth and knows you to have their best interests at heart. If you've got someone who's feeling aggrieved or angry at management, not necessarily you, but management, then it might be a little bit difficult, because you will need to build your personal individual trust levels with that person before you go in and say, I think you're not enjoying your work. Because if they're angry and aggrieved, the response you're kind of going to get is, so you're telling me you want to get rid of me? So you're saying I should resign then, are you? Well, you can't do that. And if it's a unionised environment, you're likely to get a union involved. But I have coached managers through these conversations, even in really quite difficult unionised environments, and to have it accepted and have this kind of conversation accepted. I can always remember one person who she said, I'm getting the sense you're not enjoying your work. And she sort of looked at her, and her immediate response was, you can't tell me that. And then she thought about it for a bit and said, but actually, you only tell me the truth, so yeah, okay. Because that individual manager had built up the trust level with that individual. If you've got the trust level, If the employee has got the message that by them being happy, by them being successful, you look good as a manager, the department does really well, the organisation does really well, this is win, 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 win. And part of your job role as a manager is to make sure that they are enjoying their work, that they're doing their work very successfully, that they win at their work because that feels good for them and for you and for the organisation, that basically you're after this really good environment where everyone's having a good time and being extremely productive and delivering what needs to be delivered. If they've got that message, then it's really easy to go in and say, currently I perceive or begin to think or I'm beginning to sense that you're not enjoying your work. And the reason I am thinking this is, and then you cite all the reasons why you think what you think. They're turning up late, they're dragging their feet, they have no energy, they're not offering any suggestions at team meetings, they just go like that all the time. You know, whatever is telling you or indicating to you that they're not enjoying their work. Then you go on to say, and that makes me really sad, because everyone deserves to do a job that they really love. And before you think I'm just being cutesy, if you do a job you really love, you are likely to be very successful at it, very productive at it. I look good, the team looks good, the organisation wins, everyone wins. So actually it's really important that we figure out what's going on here and either reconnect you to the job role that you've got or find another job role that you really are going to enjoy if you really don't like this one. Yeah. And then the discussion goes on from there. Now, another word of warning, one of the biggest things you're going to overcome in these types of conversations is the very common belief system that work is just something you have to do, work is something that you don't enjoy, work is something to be endured. No, blast that one out of the water. Because to have someone who just shows up because they've got to pay the rent or the mortgage, that just shows up because they've got to be there, ugh, there's no energy in it, there's no enjoyment in it. You might get quite good productivity if they're a good worker, but really it's hard work for them, isn't it? No, far better to have the conversation. Because just imagine what your team would be like if everybody really enjoyed the job they were doing. What would the world be like? Better place, huh? So go and have those conversations. Take care now. Bye.